Okay, it says the content of this meeting is being sent to one or more apps. So I think you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm streaming now. I just did it manually. I thought it would be automated. There we are. Okay. Yep. Hold on. We are going to share screen now. There we are.
Nice work.
Except I'm not seeing it. Not sure.
It says it's being sent to one or more apps.
Okay, well, we're good. We're going to go anyway, and then we'll see what happens. So we're going to let some people in. People will start arriving. What time are we at? 9:29, so another minute. I'm just not seeing it on YouTube for some reason. But as it starts, we will. Oh yeah. We are live. Okay, so let's get going.
Let's do it.
Hey there, buddy, are you doing alright? I'm doing great as a matter of fact. I'm on the road. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The bad days are gone.
Morning, everybody. That song, I love that song. I feel like I should be in New Orleans sitting on my balcony, smoking a cigarette and having some kind of a beverage. How is everybody this beautiful Saturday morning? Now, you're probably going to be hearing some buzzing as people start arriving more. Just so you know, we are also streaming live on YouTube. So if you don't want people to see you, then turn your camera off. That's totally cool. We are here today for a great story, my brave moment. We all have many of those in our lives, and sometimes some of them take us on a completely different course. And if you're an entrepreneur, you definitely have a big moment in your life when you go, that's it, I'm doing it. It just, it speaks to you, or something happens, you lose your job, whatever. So we all have those big moments. And today our keynote storyteller is Jennifer. Come on, Jennifer. You can unmute yourself. And I'm going to spotlight you. And then I'm going to spotlight myself. I need like people to help me. You know what I'm saying? There we are. I need people. I need a lot of people. Do
Yep,
you need people,
we
Jennifer?
do. We all need assistance. Exactly.
Good morning. Good morning. Now, we go a little while back. I think I was sharing some pictures as I was looking for info about you. I think was it 2013 when we met in Chicago?
Probably what, a dozen years ago. Wow.
I know. And was that the Curve show? Do you remember the lingerie show that we
Um,
met in?
oh, was it a curve show? I feel like I also maybe was it Chicago the running event. It was like a women's active
But
wear
it was
event or
no, it
something.
was a big trade show that you were at. You had a
No,
booth.
I know, but it was because you like the running event is TRE, the running event, and then it was
Could have
like the
been.
women's version in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have
So I
been.
don't think we ever had
Anyway.
a booth at Curves.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm
Yeah.
asking, I'm actually going to Montreal for the trade show over there this summer, to the Curve show.
Awesome.
Not as with a booth, but to just go meet some suppliers. And yeah. So how long
When
have
are
you
you
been an
doing that?
entrepreneur? Pardon me?
When are you doing that?
July.
Going to
Second weekend in
Oh,
July.
okay.
We'll talk.
I'm like, well, let me know how it goes. Maybe I need to be there sometime, another time.
That could be fun. But anyway, so how long have you been an entrepreneur? And tell me your story, your big moment and your business and how this all unfolded for you.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years. If I can even believe that. It was actually 2006. It was more like 2007, but like the first shipment arrived, I think December of 2006. I know. And then like looking back, like, gosh, somehow we survived 2008, the big crash in the economy. And then here we are again. And I'm excited to be here with you all. I tuned in on the last one when I was at a trade show in Denver, and I just I wanted to pop in and let Canada know how much we love you because I'm sorry. Oh yeah, remember I was going to start. I was going to start. This is how I was going to start my Zoom. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to take my camera off. Um, I was going to put what did we do? I was going to put like some Groucho Marx glasses on and come in incognito. This is how I was going to come on. I was going to come on the
That's
Zoom because I was like, Canada, please don't hate all of us over here in the US. Um, so yes, when you asked me, so I just wanted to come into the Zoom last time, and it was such a treat hearing all the stories you shared of these resilient women. I mean, goodness, what were some of the women? They came over on a boat. Most of them didn't survive. And then they had to, well, at least they got to choose their husband to be able to bear as many children, etc. And I was like, whoa, okay, that puts into perspective, what we're all dealing with in our life when it just seems so challenging. And then you were so kind to say, come on and share your story. And I thought, oh, I think we all kind of feel a little bit like imposter syndrome of like, well, what do I have to share when, like, I don't know. We don't have the final chapter yet, right? And we're all still fumbling forward. And that's why I love this group. I love that last time, Bridget, you didn't have the audio right, but we all still stayed on, and here we all are. And I love what you're doing. And it's just inspiring that even when we don't have it all figured out, we don't really know what we're doing.
Do it
Here
anyway.
we all are. And
Yeah.
so it's an honor to be here. I don't, to be honest, feel like I have much to share except the fact that we love you. You're our neighbor. And I was born and raised in Montana, and there are like 3 times more sheep than people. So if you had a pulse, you were on the team. It didn't matter if it was the math team or the soccer team. So I played on a boys soccer team, and we would go to Canada every year and just get completely annihilated. And everyone was like, "Who's that boy with an orange bow in his hair?" And I was like, "Oh, that was me." So I have a special spot in my heart for Canada. I think most of us Americans do, and so I hope we can all stay friends through
And I'm
what we're
sure we
going through.
will.
And that's just, really why I'm here today, is just to be connected with you all. So thank you, Bridget, for having this platform for us to do that. And I
I
don't know if
and
you have specific questions
I want you to
that,
tell me about your company. Maybe let's start with that then, because we're saying we're connected, but some people may not know what we're talking about here. So, what have you
okay.
created? Tell me about Handful.
Yeah, so handful, first of all, it's an attitude we celebrate. Grab life by the handful. And growing up, my dad would say, she's a handful. And I've been interviewed, and people say, oh, she took a negative and turned it into a positive. And I was like, well, when was it a negative? One of the definitions of handful is not easily controlled. And I think you feel that way when it comes to children, but us women, we don't need to be controlled. As a matter of fact, we need to be more of who we are. And so the company name is Handful, and we are sports bras for sport and après sport. So you can wear them for sport. You can also wear them while you're on a Zoom call. And it started because my background, I just always grew up kind of a tomboy. I was always active. That was back in the day when your parents said, get out of the house at 8 a.m., don't come back till 5 p.m. Go do something outside. And then I became a group fitness instructor as I was a young mom. And so I was chasing my children around, going to children's events. I had work things to do, and I would go to the gym and teach fitness classes. And my gym bag just kept getting bigger and bigger because when I taught a strength class, no one needed to know if I was hot or cold. When I got inverted in a cycling class, I didn't want to be gaping. When I led a run group and it started raining, we didn't need a wet t-shirt contest going on. So after searching in vain for what I was looking for, I launched the original handful bra designed to flatter, not flatten. And each of our bras have a hidden pocket for an optional pad that you can wear or not wear. My daughter is now 24. She takes the pads out. My business partner is double mastectomy, no reconstruction, and she puts 3 pads on each side as a partial prosthesis. And I wear a set of pads, jokingly, but not jokingly, maybe on a Friday night, a couple sets. When I put on some high heels, some lashes, some nails, women like to have choices, wear them, not wear them. So that's the background. And we now have 7 styles, and we have low, medium, high support. A woman usually knows if she likes low, medium, or high support. And then Bridget, been so excited getting to work with you and having you carry our products and be the Canadian resource to be able to get our bras, which is women supporting women, which is our mission, supporting women. And our vision is to lift women up literally and figuratively. So that's kind of the short story of the long road we've been on for almost 20 years. And then speaking of short story, we have an ambassador. We have ambassadors, and we have one, and she's got millions of followers, and anything she touches turns to gold. Well, because she works her ass off. And she started the Scary Book Club. And she sent us her deck if we wanted to be a sponsor at her Scary Book Club. And there are all these different sponsor options. And I was talking to our top investor, who he has come in to be supporting us with our digital assets. And he said, well, the only thing I could think that would make sense is if you had a table. One of the sponsorships is you could have as an author, you could have a table and you could sell your books. And so he said, I don't know if she'd let you have a table, even though you don't have a book. And I said, oh, well, I could make a scary book pretty quickly. And I said, should we call it tariffs? And then he got back to me and said, oh, we should probably just call it current events. So I put I put this into Chat GPT and I whipped Chat GPT whipped up a scary book. And I was thinking it might be interested in sharing. It's probably like, I don't know, a minute long. Would you be interested in hearing this
Yeah,
scary
sure. Go for it.
the short story? Okay, so the title is Current Events, a political horror story by female founder. And chapter one is the orange eclipse.
No, they
The
know
sky
you.
was the orange eclipse. The sky was the color of a broken TV. Static and silence rolled across the country like fog, suffocating truth, warping logic. Somewhere between the coasts, in a house made of mirrors and lies, it grinned. The orange monster had returned. With 34 felonies dragging behind him like rusted chains, he roared his way back into power, not despite them, but because of them. His followers saw the charges not as shame, but as medals of war. He fights for us, they muttered, even as their savings evaporated, even as their jobs turned to dust, even as their daughters locked their bedroom doors at night. Tariffs, he had bellowed from his golden pulpit, huge tariffs. They would bring manufacturing back, they would bring jobs back. Instead, they brought hatred, sanctions, and a stock market that bled red for weeks, trillions lost, retirement accounts wiped out. Nations that once allied with America now looked away in disgust. We love you, Canada. And the people stuck. Interest rates surged like a fever, paralyzing the housing market. No one bought, no one sold. The American dream sat rotting on the front lawn of every neighborhood in the country. The orange monster didn't walk alone. He surrounded himself with men like him, cavemen in suits, misogynists with microphones. They grunted about traditional values while clawing at power and silencing anyone who threatened their fragile masculinity. Women business owners already fighting upstream were now drowning. Only 2% of venture capital made it into their hands. With tariffs choking their supply chains, they faced losing not just their companies, but their homes, their futures, their voices. The monster smiled wider. This wasn't leadership. It was a nightmare in broad daylight, a full-blown horror show where the script was written in blood and bankruptcy filings, where the villains didn't hide in shadows. They stood at podiums, smirking, blaming everyone else for the chaos they authored. And the scariest part, it wasn't fiction. It was just current events. Ah! So those are the current events that has brought us here together.
Oh my goodness.
And
So,
honestly, Bridget, I would be open to having people, have this be kind of an open mic if anyone
yeah.
has questions or
So
comments or
yeah, so what is it like to be a female entrepreneur? Like, have you been in the US? Have you been affected yet by the tariffs yourself?
to be honest, I'm on most of the Zooms I'm on, all we're talking about is tariffs. It's the F word. It has two F's actually in its word.
A
And
double F?
yeah, I mean, there was a New York Times article about a young woman. China was 145%. I know he just dropped it down to 30 the other day. And yeah, people, like it said, women only get 2% venture capital. 98% is typically men from certain universities. They get the 98%. And so in order to get funding, you have to guarantee it with your house. And you have to do a line of credit, and then you use that line of credit in our world to purchase the bras that are made. And then we have to purchase them in advance. And then we don't get them for quite a while. And then it takes a while to sell them. So it's a challenging cash flow situation. And yeah, if you have to pay 145% more or 30% more, all of our tariffs have gone up. So we're all trying to figure out, do we raise prices? But then everyone has their belts cinched because the ground is kind of shifting under us. So it's definitely scary times. And so that's why how can we band together as women? And that's why it's so exciting to be here with you. What I really hope is women just support women even more than ever. And then sportsbras.ca, why wouldn't everyone in Canada want to buy their sports bras from you? And how can people be like, okay, this is my community. How can I best support my community? And for us at Handful, we provide support literally and figuratively. And so I'm hoping that's the lemons in the lemonade of this is we come together and support each other, and we get out of it stronger. So that's the hope. But it's definitely I heard a quote, smooth seas do not make for strong sailors. So we're all just becoming stronger and stronger sailors as we're just like paddling through. And I've also started meditating every morning. I do transcendental meditation, and it's a vibrational sound because I'm like, I need to go while the waves are like this, I need to go down, and I need to get, some strong energy plug in to start the day and keep paddling.
So I want to dig at that. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty crazy right now because from one day to the other, you don't know if there's going to be tariffs or not. And because depending where your material is coming from, like one of the other companies I carry, we had a meeting about the tariffs. And so it used to be sewn in Mexico. So we have a trade agreement with Mexico, so no tariffs. But now it was sewn in the Dominicans. So all of a sudden, I get this $2,000 bill from UPS, like a brokerage. And I'm like, what? So then they have to fight. They're like, no, 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 no. The fabric is from the US. The insert in the bra is from Canada. The hook and eye is from the Dominican. And then we get it all here in the US. We send it to the Dominican. They sew it. They send it back to the US. And then we send it to Canada. Like this is how our world operates now. Everybody is good at certain things. And it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
difficult to navigate all of this.
Yeah. To get the parts, we are currently, we attempted to be made in the US, and that almost put us under. We just don't have the skill set here that other manufacturing countries do.
Like
And
you
so we're
double,
currently
were
in
you,
Taiwan.
was it doubling your price? Like if you made it in the US?
It was, but what was even worse than the price, the product wasn't great. I mean, it just was like, oh, this is not the quality that our customer is used to. And bras are a very technical garment. And so we're currently in Taiwan. Our products are in Taiwan. Our materials are in Taiwan. Our production is in Taiwan. Um, but yeah, we're looking, I mean, we're trying to talk to El Salvador because, that's where his buddies in El Salvador, it's where he's sending everyone. And so they have zero tariffs right now, so that's the challenge is we're all trying to figure out. But then that can change tomorrow. So to your point, I mean, I'll literally be in the middle of a workday and news will come up that changes everyone's life in the middle of the day that like, yeah, he went from what 145% tariff to 30, but still 30 is 30% more. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're all trying to navigate and figure it out. And so yeah, hopefully us women can hook arms and be like stronger together.
So I want to rewind a little bit to your beginnings as an entrepreneur compared to what's happening now. Like, how was it when you first got started trying to get like, it must have been pretty turbulent as well.
Well, and it's so interesting because, we weren't all walking around with these when we first launched. So we were business to business. I mean, it was back in the day where you had a trade show and you met someone in person and you showed them your products in person. I mean, we
Had
did
a
have,
couple of
a big
drinks,
computer.
had a couple of drinks, a
Exactly.
limousine ride, had stand on the surfboard. And then we're
Exactly.
like, oh,
Exactly.
we do business together forever now.
Exactly. So we do our products, the whole sport and après sport bras. We say sweat to swim to sundress. So yes, you and I back in the day, we would get our movement in, and then I would have our business, and then wear our evening attire. Uh, but yeah, that's how it was back in the day. It was in person, so you just couldn't reach as many people like this. And so it was interesting because um, right before 2020, we were 50%. Oh yeah, there we are. I love it. Um, I know, I love Monica rocking our bra as her shirt. So yeah, what a great picture.
I had never
And
such big abs. That woman
I
was
know she is
ridiculous.
abtastic. I kept saying, "You're not allowed to wear a short shirt, poor girl." It was like freezing cold in the trade show, and I'm like, "You can put on ski pants, you can put on a mittens, you can put on a hat, but you got to show your abs in the handful bra for sure." Pretty impressive. Um, Yeah, so right before 2020, we were 50% business to business, 50% direct to consumer, B2B, D2C. Then COVID happened and most all of our retailers got shut down. And so we were actually 90% direct to consumer. And our our crew, our ambassadors and their followers really came to bat for us. And they said, who do you want to see stay in business? Those are the restaurants we need to do takeout with. Those are the people we buy from. So the people were buying from us. We had our strongest month in May 2020 because I think people were stuck at home and they had a couple extra dollars and they couldn't travel. So they were shopping here. But then the algorithm changed on ads and all of that got blocked. So it just wasn't as easy to reach people. So that's where, like it's great that you're putting this on YouTube. I mean, we're all trying to find where can we find our customer because people find our products and say, this changed my life. It's comfortable, it's cute, it's this great base layer. I'm standing taller, I'm measuring taller. And our motto is grab life by the handful. We love how you grab life by the handful. And it's just hard to have people even know who you are. And so when you get blocked here, you have to get creative. Like here we are on YouTube. We had this amazing woman. I was going to ask you all if do you know Rebecca Lowe? She's a sports announcer. And I think she predominantly does soccer, of course, football in most countries. She was on a podcast yesterday and she had her handful hat on. And my son sent it to me. One of his friends is a big soccer fan and said, she's wearing a handful hat. And so I DM'd her and she's been a long time a handful fan. And now she's just really blowing up with her career. So the more people that are out there on podcasts can share our products, it's really helpful to be able to connect the end consumer with the products because it's not easy to get the word out there.
It really is. Like as an entrepreneur, you really do have to switch. Like you have big moments all the time. So same with you. May 20 like was my biggest month ever during the pandemic. Like killed it. And then the algorithm changed and my website changed. I went to almost zero. Like it's just crazy and having to change like it's just there's always but here's the thing in these big conflicts, big events, the tariffs and all that, there's always golden opportunities. So for me, the fact that you've lost all of your retailers and you don't have anybody else in Canada now is an incredible opportunity for me, right? So you just have to
Love that.
keep looking. If you can adapt, then you can turn a big negative
Yes,
moment into an incredible positive moment.
that's what we're going with. I'd heard this phrase, are you more afraid of change or being irrelevant? Ah, and it's like, yeah, if we're not willing to change, we'll be irrelevant. So yes, the world is here. And it used to be, so our headquarters are Portland, Oregon, which I consider the Silicon Valley of activewear. So many big dogs are here, Nike, Adidas, et cetera. And back in the day, it was customer service phone calls. That's what you did. And now people aren't even putting the phone to the ear. It's this, it's that, it's so many different, it's DMing folks. So yeah, needing to kind of adapt and figure out how to best serve your customer.
Yeah. So have you ever had any other big moment that really shifted your business other than COVID and tariffs?
Yeah, an earlier one, we were in, I don't even know if you all remember the brand Lucy. It was a women's activewear company and it was out of Portland. It was Lucy and it was kind of orange. And anyway, they started placing POs. One PO was larger than we had done an entire revenue the year before. And this was maybe the first 5 years we were in business and we thought, oh, we're off to the races with Lucy. And I had met with the buyers and we had been their number one bra in their entire store. And then they got purchased by VF and they got like sucked into the VF headquarters. And so no one even knew at Lucy if they were going to have a job or not. So I was like, okay, well, what bras do you want from us next quarter so we would know what to produce? And no one was getting back to us. So we did a courtesy production run. We're like, okay, let's just make the same order for Lucy that we made last time. And they weren't getting back to me, weren't getting back to me. They knocked us off. So then they they started making bras that looked very similar to ours. And we were like, oh my gosh, our number one customer is now our number one competitor. And then people started reaching out to us saying, we don't like your new bras at Lucy. And we are like, those aren't ours. They've knocked us off. And so I went to an intellectual property lawyer and she said, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, people can knock each other off. I mean, unless you're going to take them to court, which is who knows how many thousands of dollars that we don't have. And so then that's when we realized, okay, you can have a great product, but you need to be very specific what your brand is so people know if they want to buy from you or not. And if there's two things, why do they buy from you? And so for us, our philanthropy is the fight against breast cancer. This bright pink color is our battle cry pink color, and definitely the fight against breast cancer is our battle cry. My business partner, she was a late stage 3, she was like 30 years old, young woman, and she got diagnosed with late stage 3 breast cancer. And she had double mastectomy and didn't have an option to reconstruct. And so, like I said, she puts 3 of our Hamful pads as a partial prosthesis in the bra. And so that's really what sets us apart is we are a sports bra that has a pocket that can actually be billed by insurance for mastectomy. And that's when I was at the medical conference when I tuned into your podcast last time. And so that's because unfortunately I haven't met anyone that's not been touched by breast cancer, whether it's you or a loved one. And so to know that we're a brand that literally and figuratively supports breast cancer survivors, and we donate one in 8 are still getting diagnosed with breast cancer. 1 in 8 women. 1 divided by 8 is 12.5. So we donate 12.5% of all of our sales of our Battle Cry Pink bras to the YSC Young Survival Coalition. So that's just getting that verbiage out there that we are an option for breast cancer survivors. Then even like my daughter, she wants to wear something that supports that because we've all been touched by that. So it's just the constantly getting the message out, like, here's our product, try it. We hope you love it as much as we do. And then know that we're also fighting to support women breast cancer survivors is the why to buy. It's why we get up and do what we do every day.
I think it gets back to what a lot of people have always preached, right? Is about your relationship. And there's different ways of building relationship. Because once people love you or admire you or like your product or like your work ethics, I see a lot of that. I've had people that have been with me for 20 years. And I used to collect email addresses on a piece of paper at the front door of I used to have a brick and mortar store, 1999, I incorporated, and we used to collect email addresses.
Amazing.
People would write it by hand. And then I would
Yeah.
have to type it. And they would be like, I used to swear at people for God's sake, people, can't you fucking write better than this? Like, I would just get on a swearing rant because I would spend hours. Like, is that an A? Is that a B? Is that what the heck is that? And then you would test it and it would bounce. Like, I would spend hours doing this. That was the beginning of online marketing. And I was doing this.
Yes.
I didn't know why or where it was going, and I have people who have been getting my emails ever since. It's really
I love
cool.
that. That's such a great story. You're reminding me. That was my first story, actually, now that you say that. It was in the back of my car. So my background being group fitness, there was a group fitness continuing education workshop in Portland. And so instructors flew from all over the country to come get their CECs, their continuing education credit. And some of my friends were the trainers that were on stage that were teaching these fitness training classes. And so I had brought my bras and I was fitting people in the bathroom. So instead of being able to attend the event, I'm fitting people in the bathroom. And to your point, Bridget, we didn't have this. I had a piece of paper and instructors were writing on their honor system. They took the bra home. That when they got home, they were going to get on their huge desktop and go to our website and purchase the bra that I handed them. So I had this whole sheet of paper of Susie so-and-so came in from Minnesota and she taught at this fitness gym. And every single one of those women went home and actually did it. They went home and got on their archaic computer and got to the website and bought the bra, except one woman. One woman didn't, that little stinker. She stole our bras.
What year did
and I
you
would
say
call
that
her and
was?
that was probably 2007, maybe 2008.
Yeah, probably
And
some
it
of
was
them
interesting because
still
it
had
was
this.
the dial-up modems. Exactly. It's like the fax machine. We're like, what's that? I know the world has really changed, hasn't it?
And it keeps changing. By the way, everybody, I hear from the big gurus that know it's not available in Canada yet, but they say the next big thing will be selling live on social, such as TikTok. So it's not available in Canada right now, but it's kind of like the shopping network. Everybody will have their own shopping network, and you're going live, and people are buying, like you're talking about your product live and people are buying. They say it's going to be a monster.
I thought that was already available. Is it not?
In the US, it's not available in Canada because we live in igloos. It takes a little longer to get here.
Being from Montana, I know. You come in on your horse.
We ride beavers.
Oh, I know. I loved when I was talking to you. You were going to the hockey game, and I was like, "Yeah, good job, Canada." Because my daughter lives in Boston, so yeah.
Big hockey town. But
Anyway,
yeah, it's you have you just have. I want to share actually while we're here. I want to share one of my big moments that really changed my life. This was, I think, in 2002. It was
whoa.
somewhere around there. So my partners had gone. My Olympian partner had gone back to the Olympic team, and I was running the store by myself. So we had bras. We had, obviously, you can see, shoes. We sold every women's sporting goods. And yeah, I get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody broke through your front door from my company, my security company. I said, all right, I'll meet you down there. And I just threw on a pair of sweatpants, a hat, and down I go. And I get there before they do. And I realize the front door, like the whole front of the store was gone. And I was like, oh my God, what do you do? And I was just so in shock. And that really sent me, like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I don't like retail. Like, I kept getting break-ins and like it's so much work. So I kind of gave up, except I kept the bra things on the side and would sell them on the side. I had a little office I would rent and people would come in. I'd go there a couple times a week and kept sports bra alive that way. And then I purchased sportsbras.ca in 2003. And people were like, nobody's going to buy bras online, And it was like, well, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, kind of like the email things. And yeah, that was a
That's
big moment. It
amazing.
changed everything. And then the divorce again shifted everything. Sports bras has been kind of on pause, and with the divorce putting you on on a new path, it was like, I think I need to revive this. And the one thing I want to
Yeah, that
share.
let's have that be the silver lining of this regime is that sportsbras.ca just explodes because everyone wants to buy from Canada.
And it is helping, so it's wonderful. Do you have any, before we go to everybody that's here, do you have any personal big moment that you want to share that really shifted your life?
Well, I think just in now that we're kind of talking about how, yes, we're going to manifest sportsbras.ca just be the best time ever is during this tariff comes in and it makes it so stressful that no one wants to buy from America, so everyone's going to buy from Canada. Is that was a silver lining. Title IX is our top retailer, and they're kind of the OG women's activewear company. Missy Parks is an amazing founder, and she's a boss. And we, right when COVID happened, I got an email from their buyer, Molly, and she said, "Can we get on a Zoom?" And I didn't even really know what Zoom was before COVID. Like, how great that we get to be sitting here hanging out with each other. And so I thought, oh, here's another retailer going to cancel all their purchase orders from us. And so we got on a Zoom and it was the opposite. They said, we think the big brands can survive more than you smaller brands. So what do you have on the shelf? What can we buy from you? And they just started like supporting us even more. And they're doing that with the tariffs as well. And we thought COVID was going to last a week. We're like, oh, we'll be back to school next week. And so we all got on a Zoom. It became our lifeline. We were on a Zoom. I think we were on it every week. We would just be crying and we'd be so stressed out, but we all got really close. And now Title IX, we probably do 10 times the business with them today that we had done, because I used to just, I would only get to see the buyer once a year in person. But then we started doing these regular Zooms. So that's what I'm manifesting this with you as well, Bridget, that we can be more connected during these challenging, tumultuous times. And the other thing was my daughter, who's now 24, she got yanked out of university because of COVID and she was at home and she was seeing me losing my shit constantly. And then her and I became best friends instead of me being her mom, because she's like, this is a human being over here losing her mind, and so then now she feels comfortable to call me and be very vulnerable with what's going on in her life, because she's got to see us struggling. Because I think back in the day when we'd go to work, we kind of keep it together in front of our kids. We would kind of cry in the shower. And then when you're kind of stuck at home together, you're like, okay, everyone gets to see. And same with being here on Zoom. And that's why just even in your last podcast, sharing those, excuse me, resilient stories of women have been resilient for the test of times, and we're going to continue to be resilient. So that's going to be the silver lining. We'd be like, look at sportsbras.ca blew up because what was it? The orange eclipse
The orange
had you have your
eclipse.
best years.
Love it. I just wanted to, before we go open the floor and we have some conversation, this is the website for Handful, and we'll be carrying many of them. This will be one of the first one we bring in. We do have this bra on the roster already, but just really nice. And it's nice to see a small company win. And we're gonna keep each
Thank
other.
you. Bridget, did you give Jody the address so we could ship the Amazon products to you?
No, we'll talk after.
Add it to our list.
It's just like on the side, the little side conversation. So ladies, is there anybody here that has a question for Jennifer? No, no questions. Look at that. It's very quiet today. It is a long weekend here in Canada. Is it a long weekend in the US?
No, what's your long weekend?
No.
Well, we call it the May long weekend. It's May 2-4.
The May
24
long
days.
weekend.
All right.
Yeah, it is. It's our first long weekend of the summer.
Right. And
Okay, we have
next
Memorial Day
weekend's
weekend
ours.
next weekend.
Hey, there's
Yeah.
Connie. Hi, Connie. Connie is
Hi.
from California, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Yeah.
It sure is.
Yep.
All right, I'm just removing the spotlight here. So, did anybody have a question for Jennifer? And if not, then we're going to go into, I want to hear some of your big moment that kind of shifted your life. Okay.
Are you opening that up to the panel?
Yeah, I'm turning it. Yeah, it's the Victoria Day. That's right. Thank you, Elizabeth. No, Elizabeth, I want you to take the mic because you just had a big moment. I've been watching you. You need to unmute yourself.
Yes, thanks, Bridget. Hi, Jennifer. What an amazing story you have. Holy Hannah. Yeah, my big story is that I just did a TEDx talk in Florence, Italy. Thank you.
Ooh, how can I watch it? Was it recorded?
Well, I don't know if it produces right away because they're supposed to send them all, because there were 40 speakers at this event. And they send them off to fact checkers to make sure that all their information that anybody says out loud is suitable for the TED platform. So
yeah, it takes quite a while for it to be made public when
Yeah.
you do a TED talk.
Okay, I'm writing it
So
down.
how
And you
was
said
that
Florence,
like?
Italy?
it was in Florence.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
wow.
amazing.
And it wasn't your first TED talk either.
Well, yeah, it was. I've done lots of Corey stuff, which is similar, right? But this
Oh, I thought you
was-
had done another TED talk.
No, not yet.
What did you talk about?
I talked about what did I call it? Because I changed the title a couple of times. It was about the price of silence. So it costs more than we think. So it was really about focusing on teenagers and having those conversations, because my background is in education.
The
And
Cost of Silence. Whoa, that's a powerful title. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, I like that title. It's really good. Really,
yeah.
really good.
The price of something.
Well, because Jennifer, you were mentioning about, during COVID when your daughter was seeing things that were going on for you, and you were able to take that time and have those conversations and say, yeah, this is real life, honey. And, these are the things that normally people wouldn't see. And we're afraid of having conversation because you know how often we avoid conversation because, oh, that's just what Bridget's like, or oh, that's Connie, she'll get over it and it's not a big deal. And what ends up happening is, or Teresa, I'll talk with her tomorrow, right? And we keep putting off those tomorrows and tomorrows. And the things that I noticed about what was happening in schools, bullying is rampant, mental health concerns are through the roof, social isolation, as wonderful as this is, it's a place of death of hopes and dreams, and in some cases, people taking their lives because they're diving in looking for that perfect virtual world that we all know doesn't exist. And
Yeah.
so we need to be having those conversations with our kids at home or with people in our business and industry. When you work with with teams, because probably all of you have a team that you work with as entrepreneurs, and we need to be able to say, look at, I've noticed that, you're not looking so well these days, or, what's happening with productivity. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on, rather than that separation. And then you're having the conversation that's, okay, I've had enough of this. I've let you do whatever, and, and you haven't done what you need to do. And so out the door you go. Do we need to be in that space? We don't. We need to be able to have, and this is part of what I talk about, we need to have the courage to step out of our comfort zone and
Yeah.
step into our conversations with courage.
I love that. Yes, Connie?
Yeah, I read the book called Having Crucial Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's about that, like discussing sensitive topics with people, between people. Yeah.
Well, the thing that I did when I first left education, which was just a couple of years ago, and I thought, I'm not done yet. I was done with that chapter, but not done with helping parents have conversation or getting into workplaces and saying, hey, there's a different way to be able to have conversation with each other. So I wrote a book called Courageous Conversations, a guide for parents to understand and connect with their
Okay.
teens. And the book that I'm writing at the moment, it's taking a little bit longer than I thought, is Courageous Conversations in the Workplace. As you know, I
Oh,
write a line or two and then I put it down.
that's very good. Courageous
Yeah.
conversation in the workplace.
Hmm.
And it's an interesting topic, actually, with especially for Jennifer and Connie as well, but Jennifer who owns a company in the US, because we were talking about this, like, can you be fully honest? And if you are, you get in trouble.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, this is all about being able to be your authentic self because we're now in this space of that's how we need to show up for people. Because the other way, the orange moon or whatever whatever you said at the beginning, like, that's all about power and terrorizing people, and we don't need to be in that space. So my next reel, I'm manifesting that I'm going to speak at the UN because I really want to shake it up. I want to disrupt people and
Nice.
say, so you have all this power. Kim Jong-un in North Korea said, I have the biggest missile. Great. When you blow up the world, what do you have?
Exactly.
Or Mr. Orange Face, taking on the world and making everybody feel unsettled and angry and positional. Why do we need to be that? Because we all want the same things. We all want people to be safe. We want good health care. We want good education. We want people to be in homes and not whatever we call it these days, homeless.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I think,
those are conversations that because the piece that's missing is listening.
yeah, everybody's screaming.
And the more you
Everybody's
scream, the
screaming.
less you can hear.
Yeah. I think the good thing that's going to come out of this is that once the pendulum go over so far, people wake up and we realize that is not how I want to live my life. And
Yeah.
it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the US with the next elections, with all this, like it's just pure madness. Like, I think people will get to a point, it's like, okay, we don't want that anymore. Like, been there, done that.
Well, it's interesting because I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale. And there are
Yeah,
only 2 episodes left, and it's a space of this could happen here. Like it could happen in this, and not even in lifetime, in these next 4 years. That kind of thing can happen in this country because
Yeah.
people can walk across the border and say your money isn't worth anything, and now we own you as the 51st state.
Yeah.
Just
But they'll have to fight the French people. So there's
Yeah.
9.5 million of those. And they created Cirque du Soleil. So they
Yeah,
got some
that's right.
fancy moves.
Well, because
And
I'm originally from
everybody,
Montreal, so I can relate.
I was actually had that part of my comedy, and I'm like, yeah, the Americans want to come here and take us over. That's because they don't know 9 million Canadians are French Canadian. They all move on July 1st in Quebec. At least 250,000 people in the province move on the same day. Like, that's incredible logistics.
Yeah.
They'll like take you on. But yeah, no, it's thank you. That's great. And I'm so excited. Like, you're very inspiring. I'm
Well,
gonna
thank
enjoy
you.
I'm gonna enjoy watching you shake it up.
yeah.
Yes, Connie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just retired from 25 years of teaching, and I'm having my retirement party today. So I
Oh,
got
that's
my shirt.
awesome.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Congratulations.
awesome. Woo!
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, I support all my business friends, and I try to hire my friends, to do stuff for me that own businesses, but I can see they're hurting. And also I had worked in a Title IX district,
Mm.
and they're really hurting now because some of the students have been deported, even though they had a visa to study here in America. Trump sent them a letter to this Afghan girl, and she's being deported, and she's only 16 years old.
Yeah.
And it's heart-wrenching to see this.
Such cruelness.
It is.
Like, just complete cruelness.
I went to the Bernie Sanders march, that was at the college campus like 3 weeks ago. So yeah.
Yeah.
Was he with AOC?
I love her.
I know
love her.
AOC gives hope, gives us hope, gives us hope.
She's an amazing speaker. Amazing.
Yeah.
What about you, Teresa?
Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation, and wow, the topic of bravery and being courageous really speaks to my heart. I love listening to stories of success and guts and determination and the tenacity. And I don't consider myself a huge business person. In fact, I stepped away from my coaching business almost 16 years ago now. And before that, I was in banking. And when I heard the topic and read about it, I was thinking this morning, okay, when would I consider myself to have been so courageous that it moved me, changed my life, changed everything about me? And I think there were a couple of situations, but I wrote that courage and bravery is sometimes born out of necessity, and that's what I'm hearing here today. You're birthing things, and women around us are birthing things out of necessity because either something that's happened in their lives or something that they see as unjust, or whatever it is. I really feel that we're coming to a time of unity between women more than anything else. I mean, I'm what they call a baby boomer, and in the late 60s, hearing things on TV, probably coming out of the US, sorry, but they're burning their bras, and I'm going, what's a bra? And wondering what this was all about, and but that comes back into my thought pattern, because I feel that although I'm not a total feminist, I am integrating a lot of those characteristics or necessities into my life the older I get. And the one time when I just left my husband, and I was packed up my Volkswagen Jetta to the hilt. I had a little trailer, that U-Haul trailer pulled behind it, and I was going, and I moved away into a beautiful mountain village to heal and find myself. And I had an older sister who came up to me, and she says, "Yeah, you are so brave." I'm going, she says, "It took so much courage to do this." And I figured, I didn't feel that. I didn't own that. I didn't take it in for myself at that point in time. And it didn't hit me for years later that that was actually a huge moment and a huge thing that I can celebrate for myself and take that and own it, and yeah, celebrate it.
Which is actually a really good point, because I think we should always make a point of telling our sisters that was very brave, because sometimes we don't realize it. And when you hear somebody tell you, it can shift things, or it can inspire you to do even more. I just heard that actually from my, so now he does my Google ads. He used to do Constant Contact, my email marketing. I've met him like 20 years ago. And I was just emailing him about my website and stuff. Anyway, and he's like, you have such grit. You have, like, you just don't quit. You're so amazing. And look at you go, because my business is exploding. And he's like, like, you are so inspiring. And I was like, oh, like, it's funny. Like, it just, and then I was like, yes, I am. Damn right. And I just want to go even harder now. So I think we need to remember to always tell people when we see courage.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Good reminder.
So these are the women that Brigitte brings together, and it is it's life altering that she does that. And I really want to, yes, Brigitte, celebrate you here too today, because I'm a bit of a hermit. I'm a bit of well, I do things in the background, and that's what my goal is. That's what my life is. This is who I am. I like to shake things up, but I'm not necessarily the doer. I'm not necessarily the one that takes it and runs with it and actually does all the work. I'm here to, I found out late in life that I'm here to just inspire people and to bring a different viewpoint into the world that they may not understand or might not see. And and really being able to dig deep into what we really want to accomplish. And Jennifer, your speak and I just love your story and how you brought that strength and courage out into the world. And look at what you're doing, and looking how you're changing the world. My mother was a double breast cancer survivor. She had at 60, and then at my age 66 had both breasts removed, and she passed away at Christmas time. But I often went and helped care for her in the home she was living in a long-term care facility where she was for the last 8 years of her life. But you help these women and you know, help them get changed at night, and you see what they've been through and what's been taken from them. And um, yeah,
Yeah,
so what you're giving back to those women is very, very special.
it really is. It really is. Yes, Connie.
I'm an elite platelet donor, so I'm donating for my 67th time this week.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
It's for
amazing.
people with cancer, platelet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's
Yeah, we
awesome.
all do our thing, right? Well, thank
No,
you, Teresa.
yeah.
I'm sure it would touch you, right? To care for your mom and then see her scars, and like
Right,
it would give you a
right,
very different perspective.
right, right.
Yeah. Jennifer has and I can't find it right now, but I'll send it. I'll post it on my social media, that video. Unless you have it handy,
Oh yeah.
Jennifer, we could end
Oh
with that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I
If
wonder
you
if
can put it
maybe,
in the chat and
yeah,
I'll
let's do
play it.
that.
Um, and
I
and
wonder if,
I know you sent it to me, but I was
uh,
looking quickly and I couldn't find it. So the
oh,
Carrie,
did I
what's
text it to you, Bridget?
I think you may have, but I like it was too far back and I couldn't find it. So if you text it to me right now, I can play it and we'll end it with that because it's very powerful.
Okay, what I think, I wonder if I can share my screen and we
Yeah,
could
you
do
can.
that,
You can
Bridget.
do it. Yeah, I made you co-host.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
a
doing
very
a
Okay,
walk.
powerful video.
Yeah, I'm doing a walk in
okay,
Japan
let me,
next year. The Shikoku Henro and around the island for 88 temples for platelet blood donation to make people more aware of it.
Very cool.
So
Well, if we don't have
let
it,
me
Jenna,
see
I'll
who
just post it on my social
here,
media.
I think it would be good. I think that's a good idea because I think, um, considering what everyone has shared, I think it would be a perfect way. This is my business partner, Carrie, that we're looking at. So I'm getting the circling little beach ball, but I'm confident it's gonna
If not, if you put the
let
link in
me.
the chat, I can share it.
Do 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 do.
Oh yes,
There is
there we go. Let's, if I go,
Simone playing music. Hey,
yeah,
Simone,
I'll,
you're muted now.
I've been here the whole time. Awesome, Jennifer. Amazing.
While Jennifer's looking for her video, do you have a quick little something you want to share?
We still have one spot left for the writing retreat coming up, writing and wellness. And yeah, Jennifer, amazing. One question I did have is, do you ever bring like your supplies across the border yourself?
like when I'm heading to Whistler to go skiing,
Or
Yeah,
coming to
bring
visit me?
bring a
yeah.
trade shoe booth. I haven't ever done that. I
Me
should probably
neither.
do that.
I've
Okay.
thought
Yeah,
about it,
I
but
Can I
used
just,
it might be complicated. You might get strip searched.
well, that's what I was gonna, well, don't tempt me with a good time. I know,
Like
do
you
you think
never,
that's an option to do that?
well,
you
I work
still
in
got to pay the
Canada here,
taxes.
and everything's changed so much, but a lot of times it was easier just to send it, or bring it yourself.
You got to have all your
Ducks in a
importing
row. Yeah.
papers, and yeah, it would. I don't believe it would be easier. I thought about it because one of the companies I import is in Montana, which is a 5-hour drive. Well,
Okay.
maybe 6. Yeah.
Well, if
Did
you
you
change
find
your
it,
mind,
Jennifer?
one of the consumer choice winners, that's what they
Yeah,
do. That's all they do is back and forth. So
oh,
Really?
Bridget, I should go pick up Renelle and head on over.
Oh, we could have a party. Come for Stampede, girls.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do you see my screen? Do y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Can you hear the video?
No, you didn't share the sound. So stop sharing.
Oh, how do I share the sound?
You have to, when you share, you got to tell it. So click on stop sharing Or just copy and paste the video in the comments. Oh, it's not online.
Okay, hold on. What I'm going to do, hold on, Bridget, let me grab this for you. I'll put it in can I just give you this? I'm going to give you this link. See if you can, I'm going to give you guys edit,
The
copy.
YouTube link.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do because, come on, I'm getting the twirly beach ball. Let's go, copy. Okay, I'm going to put in here, Bridget. Okay, I stopped sharing, correct?
I stopped you. I took
Okay,
over.
so here, thank you, thank goodness. I love that's when I call Apple and they're like, can we take your screen? I'm like, yes, please take my screen. Okay, I did a link now, Bridget. This is all
Got
of
it.
your dealer resources, but I got the whole thing's in there. So you got to find the Carrie story of all that
Got
link.
it.
So the whole world just got all your dealer resources. You guys feel free to fill out a line sheet.
I got it. Nobody will see it. They're just going to see what I share, which will be this.
Phone check, check, check.
Cool. All right, so we're good.
Checking. You heard the sound?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Do you want to make it big, Bridget?
So, my handful story is that 19 years ago, I was diagnosed with late stage 3 breast cancer. And as a result, I ended up with a double mastectomy and couldn't have reconstruction just due to the circumstances of how my disease progressed. All throughout it, the importance of fitness was something that carried me through, and I really believe that the intersection of cancer and fitness is why I'm still here 19 years later. And so for 5 years, I just wore nothing, and I didn't think anyone was thinking about it, but I definitely was thinking about it. So for 5 years, I just rocked a flat chest and didn't really think a lot about it. And one day I met Jennifer Ferguson, and she kept bugging me, wanting me to try on a bra. And I thought, I don't need a bra. I'm flat. I'm good. But I humored her and put it on. And when I put 3 pads on each side and looked in the mirror, it was as if something that I had lost that I didn't know I needed was replaced, and I saw myself again. And I said, I remember you when I looked in the mirror. And I have been wearing the Handful bra ever since. And as a result, I put back 1/2 inch in height just because over that 5 years, my posture started to cave in, and the importance of standing up straight is helped by the bra that I wear every day. And I just look like everybody else in just as cute of a sports bra when I was at the gym. Because at that time that I met Jennifer, I was changing in the bathroom stall. I was only taking classes where it was dark and I was in the back of the room. And once I had this bra on and kind of felt like my old self again, I was back in the front row, like rocking every class with her. So I'm indebted to this day for this bra. I really believe that a foundation garment is essential for someone who's had surgery, and especially for someone who's had tons of radiation, which I ended up having too. So I feel like the bra replaces what I lost and also just makes me look normal in my shirts, and I don't have to get a whole new wardrobe. And so I wear 3 pads on each side, and I'd love to show you how that works. So this is the Handful bra unstuffed, just as is, the same bra that I'm wearing. And how I wear it is if each bra comes with 1 set of pads, I stack 3 to make the amount that I like. So I roll it up like a taco, place it in the pocket, rotate them to just make sure the points end up in this strap notch so that the fullness of the pads mimic the curve of a natural breast, and then do the same thing on the other side. How this replaces heavy silicone prosthetics that I couldn't wear, that were so uncomfortable, has been a great lightweight wash and go option that passes the hug test from the front. When people hug me, they don't invert, they stay full, and you're good to go. So grab life by the handful. I don't know what to say now. Okay. Bye.
Touching every time I hear it.
I know. It's amazing. Oh, it didn't stop. Let me just go back here. That's like, it actually put tears to my eyes watching it. It's like even for me, I get the other side of the story where women are like an H cup and they give up horseback riding because they just cannot find anything. Like, you know, when you help women be all that they can be, it's pretty amazing.
I have one more question.
Yes, darling.
I take my pads out, and I know a lot of women do. Do you accept donations of pads?
We've tried to do that. It's just so much logistics with like health codes
Okay.
type thing. So what we're trying to do, it hasn't been as easy as we would like, is that people could opt out of it before you even receive it, you know, that we would take the pads out. But once again, it's like technology trying to make things easy
Yeah.
sometimes overcomplicates things. So, we definitely encourage people to, you know, donate them yourself. But we haven't yet found an easy way to do that.
I've been thinking about starting a stock exchange. Like a lot of people have so many bras they don't wear. Like you buy a wear a couple times, you realize you don't like it, but you can't return it. So yeah, trying to come up with an idea.
You'll have to do a
doable.
pad exchange as well. Throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I take mine out like the minute I buy it, so they're brand new, and I've
Yeah.
just been throwing them in the recycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll stay on top of it. Thank you very much, Jennifer. You're awesome. I adore you. And we're gonna start
Thank you for
working
all you
together
do.
more. So I'm excited.
Yes, what an awesome group you brought together. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for being here. And we'll see you. Oh, wait, before we go, I just wanted to share. And as a matter of fact, Elizabeth, who's here, is going to be one of our speakers at our next in-person event, which is the first Monday of the month. I will just be back from Paris, but we'll be doing a Women Talk in person. Jessica Sudin is our other talker as well. We heard a little bit about Elizabeth, and Jessica used to race motorbikes, and now she coaches people. It's going to be an awesome evening. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to our special talker, Jennifer Ferguson from Handful, and have a fabulous long weekend. Bye, everyone.
Have a great trip in Paris. Bye.
Woo! I think it's going to be